Hey, I'm curious. Have you ever compared yourself with your past self? How much different are you today than 1 year ago? Or 3 years ago? Or even 5 years ago? Have you noticed any difference in your skill set, your mindset, your connection, or maybe your message? Have you upgraded all of that? Well, if you have, then that's good because you actually make progress, right? You use your time really well to invest in yourself. So give a big round of applause to yourself. Whoa! or you can just give a pat to your back and tell yourself, hey, you did a good job. Hey, you did well. Hey, congratulations for making it this far. You know, I always tell myself after I've done something incredible, hey Ashraf, good job, you did well. So I suggest you to tell yourself that too because how far you have become, how far you have changed, right? And it's a good thing to look back to record what you have done, what you have achieved. It's a really good feeling to do that actually. And when you do that, you actually appreciate yourself, right? In fact, it is the gratefulness that makes us move forward, right? So anyway, in this episode, I'm going to share something really powerful. So powerful that it can transform a person to a better version. And I'm saying it's not just 2 times better or not even 5 times either, but 10 times better. Yes, 10 times. This thing has changed me, has transformed my life 10 times better. And you might be thinking, wow, that is too much, Ashraf. There's no way it can be 10 times. Well, it has happened to me and many other people. So I believe it can certainly happen to everyone, including you. You know what it is? It's the power of publishing.
So the real question is this: how would an entrepreneur like us, who literally start from nothing or has limited resources and yet still wants to build an empire, join Ashraf as he answers this big question so you can apply it too? Welcome to Focus on Winning.
Alright, welcome back to Focus on Winning podcast. My name is Ashraf. First off, I want to thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate that. So before the intro, I mentioned it's the publishing that's transformed a person, right? And you might be blown away by that, or you might be just, meh, I already know that. But either way, I still can't believe how true that statement is. In fact, the first time I heard people say, hey, you have to publish something in order to change your life. And I was like, what? It can't be that easy. I don't believe that. I don't buy that, okay? But now I've done it and I've seen how far I've changed, and I still can't believe how true that statement is. So let's talk about the power of publishing. What's the power behind it? And why it is so important to publish if you want to change your life. So let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, there was a guy who always followed everything what society says. Going to college, having a job, enjoying life after retirement. But one day, something woke him up. That thing told him, you can do way more than this. You have way more power than you can ever imagine. So he wondered, what kind of power that he has? How can he use it for good? That thing also told him the only way to know that is to go outside of this realm. Go outside and seek for that power. So starting that day, he searched for that power. He traveled all around the world, crossed all 7 seas, hiking all the mountains, flying from planet to planet. Wait, what? No, that doesn't make sense. Okay. Let's start again, okay? Here's the real story. Real and raw story. It all started in 2019 when I joined One Funnel Away Challenge. And if you're not familiar with that program, it's a 30-day program to build and launch your first or next funnel. It was coached by Russell Brunson, Steve Larsen, and Julie Stoyan. So before I joined the program, I only had family and high school friends in my Facebook friends list. I had zero connection in the entrepreneurial space, and I wasn't even an active user in any social media platform. At that time, I only have Facebook and Instagram as my communication platform. So if someone wants to talk to me, send me a message, then they can just find me on that platform. And I also didn't post regularly, so technically nobody knows who I am. I was just a mystery guy, right? So when I joined the program, there was this one lesson. Out of all 30 lessons that they taught, there was this one lesson that always stuck in my head. It was about choosing a publishing platform. Russell and Steve always say, "Hey, I dare you to publish for 1 year and your life will never be the same." And when they say that, I was like, wait, what? Really? Alright, I'm gonna try that. I mean, if it only takes 1 year, then maybe I can try that. I mean, it's not that long and it's not that hard. Just publish something for 1 year and see how it goes, right? So I'm gonna take that shot. Even if I fail, then I just wasted my 1 year, right? So it's not that big of a deal. So yeah, I just want to see how it goes. So starting that day, I pick a platform where I am most comfortable with. At first, I wanted to start a YouTube channel because it looks cool and because that's the most famous platform, especially in Malaysia. But then I thought, I have to edit this, I have to edit that, and I have to put a lot of visual things to make it look interesting, right? So for me, it takes a lot of work, like really a lot of work. And plus, I'm not really good at editing videos and pictures. I wasn't good at it. After a lot of comparison between YouTube, podcast, and blog. So at the end of the day, I chose a podcast. I mean, I can just hit record and talk, right? Easy. Just like how Russell Brunson did. If you listen to his podcast, you can hear all the background noise like the car engine and the people talking behind him. And yeah, you can hear all of that because he just used his phone, hit the record button and just talk. Like, wow, that was easy. I'm going to do that. So I started with Anchor Apps. It's a free podcast platform. At first I talk about takeaways that I got from One Funnel Away Challenge. And you can find it if you scroll down all the way back to my very first episode, my earliest days of podcasting. So actually I have moved from Anchor to other hosting, so that's why you can see the old episodes here because I've moved it, right? And long story short, I did a podcast before and I wasn't really good at it. So I decided to level up my game. So I joined a podcast course. I learned everything from it. I learned how to launch it the right way. I learned how to create it. I learned everything. I learned about creating, growing, and even monetizing. So there are a lot of it I learned. So I'm so glad that I joined the course, the podcast course. So after I think that, yeah, I've enough knowledge to apply everything. So I applied and I started looking for people to interview. Back then, I didn't have a clear vision and what niche I'm in. So I went to a podcast guest website. There were 2 sections in that website, being a guest or finding a guest. So I chose finding a guest, of course, right? I don't want to be a guest. I'm so afraid. I was so afraid at that time. So yeah, finding a guest is better for me at that time. So I fill out the form, what's my podcast name, how many listeners, how many episodes, and what kind of guests do I want to get, and all of that. So basically, I said to them, hey, I have a podcast. I would love to have a guest in the entrepreneurial space. So yeah, that's it. And I click send. Pop. And then I wait for the response until the next day. And the next day, I look at my phone, I open the internet, and then ding, I got one email from that website. Hey, you have a guest. Okay, cool. I have a guest now. And then another ding, whoa, another email, and then ding, 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 ding. I was like, whoa, that is too many. I got a lot of response the next day. And, all of them saying like, hey, Ashraf, I would love to be on your show. I am an expert in this category. And, some say that they are an expert in this category. Others say they are a CEO of this company. So that was really impressive to me. I never thought I could attract this kind of people, right? I never thought I could attract CEO or someone who is expert at this thing. I was like, wow, this thing works. This website works. And yeah, so I replied to all of them saying, hey, thank you for reaching out. Here's my calendar. You can book my time here. And boom, I sent to all of them. And then the next couple of days, my whole month got booked. Like really booked. Full pack of interviews. I was like, oh man, seriously. So I was so shocked. I was so scared, nervous, all at the same time. Because my English wasn't good. I never interviewed anyone. I didn't even know how to ask questions. Oh my god, I imagine how crazy that was, right? So it was a really tough time to me to actually deal with that. And it was really new to me. I never done that. So but I know this thing will come. I have to interview people if I want to do a podcast, because that's one of the ways of podcasting, right? So yeah, I just have to brace myself. I just have to be brave in doing this. I just have to do it. I don't care what people say, right? I don't care if they want to mock my English. I don't care. I just want to do it and see how it goes, right? It's 1 year. So after that day, I did a lot of research about the guests. So I even wrote a format of what to say and responses. And then I practiced myself on how to say that, how to deliver that message, how to tell stories, how to relate to them. And yeah, it was really, really exhausting. And then the first guest I ever interviewed was an expert in cycling. Yes, cycling. And that expert was a woman. I forgot what was her name, but she was really fun to talk to. I mean, she answered all of my questions. She understand my language. She actually went easy on me. So yeah, it was a 30 minutes interview. She gave a lot of advice and tips to be a better cycler. So props to her for showing up and being my first guest. Whoa. So when the interview was finished, I felt so amazing after that, because I just did something I had never done before, right? So I was so excited to publish my first episode. Yeah. But here's the twist. Here comes the twist. When I was about to edit my first episode, I checked my file and I opened it up. So I want to just look at my video interview. When I look at it, I realized something. There was no voice. I did not record the voice. Oh my god. Can you believe that? I did record the interview, but it didn't capture the voice. Oh man, I was so mad, frustrated, and even embarrassed at the same time. I mean, how silly I was for not checking it first. Man, I just have to tell her about this. I mean, it was my first episode. I didn't want to let it go, right? So I sent her a message telling her the issue, and I was surprised that she didn't even mad. she didn't get mad. That was surprising. And she said, oh, that's okay. It was a part of a learning process, right? So don't worry. We can do that again next time. So yeah, I was so embarrassed at that time. I said, sorry, okay, and thank you for understanding. Oh, wow. She was so kind to me. I forgot her name was. Oh, man, if only I remember her name. So, after that day, I learned how to record the interview. I learned all the setup, all the Zoom setting, the video setting, the audio, and all of stuff. I also learned how to ask better questions. I learned how to say it correctly. I learned how to tell stories. And I also learned how to do research about the guests in a very short time. And there were many things I have improved along the way in my podcasting journey. And of course, there is still something to learn. But when I look back, I realize how far I have changed. I realize my English is getting better. my connection is getting bigger, and my mindset is getting stronger. Back then, I would interview anyone that I think is an expert because I didn't know my niche and my goal is. In fact, if you look back at my previous episodes, you will see I interviewed people about how to find a career, how to be confident, how to get a scholarship, and there's also an episode about building mobile apps. And I'm not saying there are bad interviews, all of them are super duper good. All of them are good, okay? I really appreciate them for taking the time to share their valuable ideas and strategies. I learned a lot of it, like a lot about it. And some of them I even applied to get where I am today, right? But what I'm saying is I didn't have a clear who. Who is my audience? Who is it I'm going to help with my interview? So now the more I publish, the clearer my goal is and the more narrow my niche is. And now I also publish a lot of podcasts and marketing tips on my Facebook profile and Facebook groups. So when I do that, I started getting known by many influencers and experts. Some of them have also been on my shows. So I started getting known. My connection now is getting a lot bigger than before. So imagine I went from 0 connections in the entrepreneurial space to thousands of them now. I have thousands of experts and influencers in my Facebook friends list. Whoa, man. Okay, you might be thinking, oh, here comes the bragging. Well, I don't tell you this to impress you, but I'm telling you this to express you. I want to let you know that if you really want to transform your life, you just need to publish something. It could be a blog, article, social media post, Facebook lives, anything, right? And it's okay if you don't know what to publish. You just have to know what you like, what your hobby is. You can start by posting your hobby and how it can help people, right? So if you are good at playing guitar, then maybe give some tips on how to play it. Or if you are good at playing PlayStation games, then maybe you can give some tips about how it improves your thinking skill, your teamwork skill, or your leadership skill. I don't know, any skill that you learn in that game, right? And I believe it also can be applied in a real life world. So you can start from there. So start by doing that and you will find your own unique voice someday. That's how I am able to narrow my niche now. I know what kind of topic do I want to talk and I know what kind of audience do I want to serve. So yeah, you will find your own unique voice if you just start posting your hobby or what you like, okay? And do that for a year. Just do that for a year if you never started, if you never start publishing, if you never publish something. So do that for a year if you really want to change your life. Just post something regularly and it could be once a week or maybe once 2 week, once per 2 week. Yes, once per 2 week, or it could be once a month. Well, once a month is really a big gap, so I suggest you to publish once a week, okay? And I can guarantee that your life will change. Oh wow, I sound just like Steve Larson now, right? But yeah, that's the true power of publishing. It has affected my life. So I really want to thank Steve and Russell for saying that statement now that I have lived with it. And it has really changed my life, my perspective, my mindset. Oh, wow. So yeah, that's it for today. I want to end this episode by saying thank you to all my previous guests for giving me an opportunity to improve and upgrade myself. They have done a really good job for bearing with my weird questions and cringe responses. So thank you for that. Thank you for bearing with me. Oh wow, I really appreciate that. And I also want to give thanks to you for taking the time to listen to this episode. You've given me a really, really valuable thing, which is your attention. I hope you are doing awesome today and hopefully you can achieve your goal this year, okay? So if you find this episode inspiring, make sure to subscribe give, rate, and review on iTunes. And if you could share it, I would be really, really grateful. I believe it surely will inspire people that want to change their life. Alright, winners, as always, stay winning.
Hey, thank you for listening. We hope you can implement everything from this episode. And would you like to know more about business strategies and life hacks that you can apply right now? If so, subscribe to this podcast so you can become the best you.